Our 13 Investigates team is revealing the blind spots in the trucking industry that put you in danger. 13 Investigates and our partner stations found federal enforcement related to serious safety violations is plummeting under the Trump administration. Our investigative reporter Sierra Putman joins me in studio tonight. Sierra?
Well, Scott, we found that trucking safety enforcement dropped by more than 80%, and that's nationwide and here in Indiana. That's important because that's a drop in cases that target unsafe companies and drivers. Nick Megel lives in his dream home.
All right, buddy, we'll let you out.
There's room for his animals, sweeping views, and lots of love. It's also a short drive from the place that brings back nightmares.
Even today, if we don't turn down our road, we turn a half mile to the east or whatever, we don't turn down that road.
US 50 is off limits after this 2011 crash involving Edward Megel, his wife Joanne, and 6-year-old granddaughter Darcy. Pictures of the crash show the damage to the family's Oldsmobile. Edward and Darcy were injured but walked away. Medics flew Joanne to a Kentucky hospital.
Mom had a lot of internal injuries, maybe all her ribs except one was broke.
13 days later, she died. The driver of the semi told investigators he couldn't stop. The family sued and in court documents accused the owner of C&K Transport of receiving a warning at 7:30 a.m. that the vehicle had brake problems. That was 12 hours before the crash. The Megel family also claims the originally scheduled truck driver called in to report the problems and refused to drive. In his response, the owner denied the allegations, but confirmed he was behind the wheel during the crash. His attorney argued the crash was the result of a sudden emergency. The Megel family's attorney, David Craig, disagrees.
The reality was it was one of the worst chameleon carriers I've ever seen.
A chameleon or reincarnated carrier is a business that rebrands to hide information like past safety issues. Craig says this 2010 federal form shows the owner of C&K Transport failed to disclose he also owned Hackney Trucking. Court records show the federal government opened an enforcement case and assessed a fine of nearly $20,000 against Hackney Trucking in 2009 for numerous violations, including failing to inspect and maintain its vehicles. That company shuttered just months before the crash. In its lawsuit, the family accused the owner of shutting down because he was unable to operate safely and could not obtain insurance. The owner denied those allegations, but both sides agree. The two carriers shared the same owner, bank accounts, equipment, trucks, and same business address.
It's not that hard to check that address. Send an inspector out and look and see, is this the same equipment or not?
It's why the Megels are sharing their story. They want more oversight to keep dangerous companies off the road. But 13 Investigates learned enforcement is moving in the opposite direction. With the help of our reporting partners in Florida and Texas, 13 Investigates found in 2024 the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration closed 3,800 enforcement cases. Last year, it closed 617 cases. That's an 84% drop nationally. In Indiana, it dropped by 88%.
We've never seen anything like this regarding the low rates of enforcement. It's horrifying, it's inexcusable, and it's frankly a dereliction of duty.
Zach Cahalan with the Truck Safety Coalition says these cases are how the federal government holds the trucking industry accountable. Most of these cases involve truck carriers out of compliance or facing safety violations.
For you to even be touched by an enforcement case, you've done something pretty bad, right?
Our team caught up with FMCSA's administrator, Derek Bars, to ask him about the drop in oversight. An agency insider tells us new legal hurdles are making it harder for regulators to take action against unsafe trucking companies.
Was there something changed in that policy?
Legal sufficiency, making sure that everyone understands that you've got to make sure that you have evidence to be able to bring cases against somebody, no matter whether it's a criminal case or whether it's a regulatory case. You got to have evidence. I think you're going to see an uptick in enforcement cases because my message is enforcement is important.
13 Investigates found federal data shows that uptick hasn't happened yet. So far in 2026, only a few dozen cases are closed each month, compared to hundreds in past years. Both federal and state cases plummeted in 2025 when President Donald Trump took office. Experts worry that puts more families like the Megels at risk of crashes that rarely bring accountability.
Were there any criminal charges brought?
As far as I know, there weren't, and that's not unusual.
The driver received a speeding ticket. Also, the Megels reached a settlement.
Do you think that was enough?
No.
Not enough for the loss of a mother, remembered now with every breeze through these wind chimes.
She was never able to see the kids grow up.
Never saw Darcy grow into a young woman who loves animals. Keep in mind, these findings run counter to recent calls to improve truck safety by the Trump administration. And experts say reducing oversight just makes it easier for bad actors to fly under the radar.
And they can have deadly consequences, right?
Extremely deadly consequences. Initial information shows more than 4,000 people died in crashes with big trucks last year. 100 of those people died here in Indiana.
Sierra Putman with 13 Investigates.